I came here. I saw. I conquered. And those were my words after totally crushing the Battle of Zela the other day. Today, we'll tell you about Rome, the life and story of Julius Caesar. After the Punic Wars, Rome kept on doing Roman things, such as expanding its domains and not paying soldiers who gave their lives for Rome. That's why many soldiers were unhappy. There were also many social and political conflicts, which is why the Roman Republic was declining. That's why some interesting folks took advantage of the situation to become even more interesting. One of them was Julius Caesar, a young lawyer from a patrician family who had no money. Julius was doing very well as a lawyer. So he went to study philosophy. And while on his trip, he was kidnapped by pirates. Let's ransom this little rich boy. Okay, 20 talents maybe? Nonsense. I'm worth way more than that. You must ask for like 50, at least. While kidnapped, JC composed mini speeches and delivered them to the pirates, who sometimes applauded and sometimes didn't, because they couldn't understand. In his captivity, Julius lived a very comfortable life. I really like you guys, but when you release me, I will have to chase you down and execute you for this crime. Then, one day, they released him. So Julius chased them, caught them, and crucified them. JC went on with his life, became a military leader, and conquered Gaul in the Gallic Wars. This made him more popular and led him to become a politician. In fact, JC had many facets. JC the Quaestor, JC the Aedile, JC the Pontifex Maximus, JC the Praetor, JC the Governor of Hispania, JC the Seducer, JC the Consul. He was so fond of the latter that he wanted to keep this job for longer. That's why he went looking for unhappy soldiers, to offer them a competitive compensation plan. He also joined forces with two men, named Pompey and Crassus, who each had their own army of unhappy soldiers. And since they had fought a very strong gladiator named Spartacus, they were now famous. And remember, we're still looking for support. So please subscribe or something. And the three of them formed a triumvirate. Each of them took control of different provinces, assigning Caesar the control of the Gallic provinces. This was the home to the Gauls, a group of people also known as Celts. The Celts lived in tribes and had a deep respect for nature. They also had some cool deities and legends. And Julius Caesar conquered them all. With Caesar now having more power, he, along with Crassus and Pompey, continued to expand Rome's territory. And sometime later, Crassus died because he was forced to drink molten gold. Or so they say. Caesar and Pompey had very different ideas on how to rule Rome and who should rule Rome. That's why Caesar no longer liked Pompey and didn't trust the whole Senate either, because they seemed sus and shady. And by the way, this is Brutus, he was a senator, and he was like a son to Julius. Julius Caesar was getting extremely powerful, and that freaked out the Senate. So they asked him to get rid of his army. Nope. So Julius rolls into Rome with his whole army and starts a civil war against Pompey, who had the support of the Senate. But Caesar totally smashed him. So Pompey fled to Egypt, seeking help from King Ptolemy, but Ptolemy thought it was best to execute him in order to get favor with Julius. But Julius was totally not having it, so he kicked Ptolemy off the throne and crowned Cleopatra instead, who was Ptolemy's sister and wife. Cleopatra and JC started dating. Back to Rome, Caesar was now more powerful, and the Senate made him dictator. He also made a bunch of cool updates to the laws and showed some love by pardoning citizens' debts, granting land to soldiers, and declaring himself the everlasting dictator. We don't like that. Nope. Shut up. You shut up. Shh. The senators were acting up because they couldn't stand that Caesar was way too comfortable with his fame. So they brilliantly came up with a plan to save the Republic from the power-hungry tyrant who had the audacity to do good things for his own people. So one day, he got an invite to discuss some collective petitions at the forum. But when he showed up, the senators stabbed him collectively. And among the stabbers was also Brutus. You too, Brutus? And he died. Now everything could go back to normal. No, because the death of Julius Caesar left Rome in chaos, and three new leaders, Mark Antony, Gaius Octavius, and another guy, would dispute the control of Rome. But only the true heir would take control and forge an empire.